Animaniacs 2020, Season 1, Episode 5.
I actually watched the right episode, although I only watched like half of it before the call because I had crap to do. But I already watched it before, like
As
2 months ago, so
Yeah.
it's not it's
Yeah.
not the end of the world that I didn't finish watching it this time.
Yeah. So, Chicken Boo, huh?
Yeah, Chicken Boo's kind of a dick. We already knew this. I mean, I did really like that episode with him and Kitty Kaboom in the original,
Yeah.
where it's like, you're dating a chicken. He's not a chicken, Dad. Shut up. It's like, no, he's really a giant chicken. I said, shut up.
I mean, his
Oh my
disguises have
sorry.
gotten better.
Huh?
His disguises have gotten better.
They have. I mean, he did have 20 plus years to, come up with something better.
But you can never hide those tiny feet.
Tiny feet. Yeah. Oh, I love that little clue they gave, how they keep focusing on the tiny, tiny feet. And at first it's just like, oh, you're just mocking him. But then it's like, oh my gosh, Chicken Boo. Although I am kind of glad that they didn't actually kill the other characters, and how they're just like coming off his wall and just like hunting him down.
Yeah, which is... It's interesting in that, this does give an excuse if they want to use anybody from the rest of the characters. They can do that now and have an excuse for not using them in the first few episodes. So it's like, no, they were on his wall. Though they were being very patient because apparently they could just leave at any time, but they decided to not.
I was like, where is everybody? There used to be so many more characters.
I mean, I'm also glad that they brought it up because, like, everybody noticed it. It was an elephant in the room, although even the elephants were gone. No, they were hippos. But it was that elephant in the room type scenario where it's like everybody noticed it. It's obvious, but
Yeah.
now
And some of it doesn't even make sense because, like, some of it makes sense because you might not be able to get that exact actor again or actress. They may be busy when they were trying to tape it, but like, some of it doesn't even make sense because some of the characters are just the Warners or Pinky and the
I
Brain.
know, like Scratch and Sniff is Yakko.
Yeah.
I mean, and Hello Nurse is Dot.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, that one I can.
Which
I
brings
don't
up some squicky
understand.
thinking if you think about it too much.
Huh?
There's some squicky thinking if you think about it too much because the guys
Yeah.
are going after somebody with the same voice as their sister.
Yeah. Although,
Obviously they're very different, but it's still...
Have you heard the Matrix Twisted Tunes?
I don't think so.
Look it up on YouTube. The Twisted Tunes with a Z, tunes with a Z at the end, instead of the S.
You're almost American there for a second with the Z.
Matrix. The Matrix script one. They had it was so wrong and hilarious, and even the actors like made comments about, wait, that's my sister, that's so wrong. Because just the script itself sounds so wrong out of context from the movie. But yeah, so there is some squick value there too. But yes,
Yeah, that explains if they decide later on, hey, let's go ahead and bring in other characters. They can, because they've just explained why they didn't have it in the first place.
yeah.
But
And I love the forever sleep juice.
Yeah.
let's see.
Which was the Pinky and the Brain story? I didn't
That
get
one
part.
is the one with the Yakuza and the NSA.
And NSA.
Snowden
Oh, okay.
and the plant.
Okay, yeah, and the Fern.
Yeah.
Yeah, he spent all that time trying to they spent all that time breaking in to get that information, and then it requires a specific secret Fern that he took back.
It's like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Oops. And he would have even left it behind were it not for the fact that Pinky's like, no, no, no. We agreed, so we've got to go get it.
Although I'm trying to figure out how making everybody on the verge of sneezing could help you control the world.
No idea. But it's one of those master plans. He'd get dizzy trying to walk a straight line.
Yeah.
I think Brain is losing his touch with his old age.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like the master. He'd get dizzy trying to walk a straight line. All those plots, and he gets so overly convoluted for no reason. That's kind of his thing, and it's been his thing.
That's true.
I mean, there was an episode where he went and took over the North Pole to make dolls to brainwash people. So and pretty much the entire episode was him trying to take over the North Pole. And then there was another episode where he went around the world just to become the president of a secret society so he can run the world. I mean, his plots have never really been that overly sensible in the first place.
Well, at least Snowden cares about his plants.
Or he wanted to make.
Well, he left it behind, so he must not.
I mean, he probably had to leave in a hurry.
But still, you wouldn't forget your child.
I would.
I would purposely forget my child if I had one.
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't forget their child.
It's like, you know that meme? It's like,
I forget my nephew. And
you know that
still finds his way back.
You know that one meme where it's like, I lost my child. Can I please use the intercom? Goodbye, you little shit.
I have not seen that meme.
I gotta say though, Pinky, except for that last part, not a bad driver.
No.
I guess he learns a lot from those mustache brothers.
Yeah, he's had a lot of practice though. I mean,
which surprises me. Brain trusts him enough to let him drive.
Well, I mean, Brain is kind of on the short side.
They're using a giant man-sized mech suit to. Oh, no, is it his mech suit? I can't remember. I know he's using strings, but I think it's strings. He's using an entire like person to control it, so I think it wouldn't
Yeah,
really matter which one of them was doing it.
but I mean, how many times has Pinky been the one driving the mech suit? And Brain was the one, like, the head of it.
I thought most of the time that was just Brain moving the suit because in that last episode he was that senator. Pinky was just
True.
along for the ride. So I don't think he
Eh.
ever. I don't know if he ever drove the suit. It was always Brain driving the suit, and then Pinky was tucked in his pocket or something.
I think Pinky like does the suit if it's like actual manual labor, like driving and stuff. Where
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's hard to say because Pinky
It
is.
depends on the story and the time period, because don't forget, they're time traveling mice.
Yeah. They got a vortex manipulator, and it's set on random.
no.
No,
Brain.
the Acme Labs are a TARDIS, and the scientists who work there are Time Lords, studying Earth's history, and Pinky and the Brain are their experiment, who wander off like a good companion and like to cause trouble, like a companion.
I was just gonna say that Brain is like the final incarnation of the Doctor.
No, the final incarnation of the Master. He is an incarnation of the Master, regenerated as a mouse.
I was gonna say
It's
that about Pinky.
it's a lottery.
Yeah, it is a lottery.
You could wake up with two heads. Could wake up with no head.
Pinky is the Doctor and and Brain is the Master. Think about it, because Pinky is always thwarting Brain's plans. Brain always has these like wild ideas of conquest and domination.
Sounds like he got a super heavy dose of 2 then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
you just got a super heavy dose of 2.
And 7, because 7 was always very subtle and sneaky about his thwarting things. He would go about thwarting the problem without overtly doing it, without obviously like, I'm gonna stop you. Half the time he would stop them just with some sort of silly yo-yo trick or hypnosis or whatever. He would just, oh, oops, your plans failed, sorry. So yeah, Pinky is the Doctor. Pinky and the Brain are incarnations of the Master and the Doctor, regenerated into mice. There we go. And that's why you rarely ever see actual scientists in the lab, because those scientists are actually their companions.
And the whole genes have been spliced. Well, that's just regeneration.
Exactly. We have solved. There we go.
Do you think that the actual Master would have a better time at stuff if he had companions?
He has had companions in the past.
Oh, I guess they didn't turn out that well for the companions.
Not really. I mean, there was Lucy. Harold Saxon had Lucy, his wife. The Eric Roberts Master had the dude who played Kino in the Ninja Turtles movies, the second Ninja Turtle movie. He was also played the companion of, I think it was him. And he also was in Surf Ninjas. Also, I just found out one of the main characters in Twin Peaks is the brother of the Eighth Doctor companion from the movie, Grace Hollowell, Daphne Ashbrook. Her brother is Dana Ashbrook, who played Bobby something in Twin Peaks. I do that 6 Degrees, but I never do it of Kevin Bacon. Usually it's of Doctor Who, because everything is of Doctor Who. I am not actually Osgood.
So you say. But and then there was one last bit. I can't remember what it was.
After the security cam thing.
Oh, that was brilliant. That was
that
was a brilliant bit of animation because there's no dialogue. It's all done through just it's the ultimate show don't tell because they can't tell other than writing this is what this is.
Yes, that was awesome.
It's like, why are you covered in blood? Well, you see,
Yeah. So, Warner Brothers and sister, the Vampire Slayer. I can just imagine Dot saying, "Buffy, eat your heart out." Doing a quick twirl of the steak
and we learned a very important lesson. Vampires hate kimchi.
Who doesn't?
I don't mind it. I think I've only had it like once.
Oh, wait, never mind. I was confused. I keep confusing kimchi and kombucha.
Ah, okay.
I always confuse those. Kombucha is disgusting.
It's very vinegary.
Yeah, kimchi is more
hideous and
coleslaw.
Disgusting. Oh my gosh. It is like a cross between bread and beer.
Ah.
I hate
So pretty much soggy bread beer?
No, because it's it is, you have the yeast or whatever it is growing inside the liquid. And so you have this like weird mushroomy mound that looks kind of like a brain in a jar inside the brewing kombucha. And it smells awful.
My cousin loves drinking it.
When my dad died, he had some kombucha brewing in the fridge, and we had to dump that shit, and it was, oh my gosh, it's disgusting.
And now I can hear his ghost saying, "Why did you dump it out?"
Nobody was gonna drink it.
Kimchi is actually pretty good.
I don't think I've ever had kimchi.
Or was it? Yeah, it's good.
What is kimchi?
Fermented cabbage.
Yeah,
I don't like cabbage.
Yeah, I like it, but yeah, it's.
Which is funny. I do like broccoli. Yeah. I don't like cauliflower.
I mean, it's a fermented cabbage sort of thing. It's kind of like it
sauerkraut.
I hate
it's sauerkraut is pickled and goes good on hot dogs.
Yeah, it's only cabbage. This is
my dad used to own sauerkraut. It's easy to make. It's still disgusting.
Kraut's good with like bratwurst and yellow mustard.
I don't like sauerkraut. And actually, fun fact, sauerkraut is actually a Chinese invention, not a German invention. It was brought to Europe through trade.
Anyway.
It was originally created in China and using sake instead of salt water brine, which is what is used in proper European sauerkraut.
A staple in Korean cuisine is a traditional side dish of salted and fermented vegetables such as Napa cabbage and Korean radish, made with a widely varying selection of seasonings include chili powder, spring onions, garlic, ginger, and salted seafood, etc. It's also used in a variety of soups.
Yeah, no, the fermented part gets me yuck.
And
The
yeah, it
only
depends
thing I
on.
like it is vinegar, and that is only in certain cases as used for things. Like mixed with baking soda, it is very good at getting stains out.
I like vinegar.
And the smell of urine, especially cat urine.
Well, anyway, that guard can sleep through anything.
Oh yeah, but I mean that's not surprising. I mean it's Ralph.
I love the part where the truck driver's just driving. It's like, oh dear God, he's asleep again.
Just goes over there and opens
He
it
gets
himself.
out, lets himself in. How has he not been fired?
I think he has, but like everybody just kind of forgets about him. It's like, oh hey Ralph.
Yeah, it's just like, or but he has the heart to do it. He gets really pathetic when it happens, or usually it's he's the only one willing to put up, like, everybody else gets run off by the Warners, but he's too sleepy and
Stupid.
too dim to be run off by them. So he's the only one they can keep on, because all the other ones had to deal with the Warners and ended up running away, tearing their hair out.
Like Scratch and Sniff.
Yes. He had a luscious head of hair. Then he met the Warners.
Yeah. And then it was all gone.
Poof.
Yeah, that was a fun little bit of extra. It did feel like that was the same sort of idea. I don't mind them having like two somewhat longer like sections and then some little fun thing, because usually as records go, the small things have pretty much I think they've all worked. Like they've either all been decent or better, sometimes really good, and it's just like that short form final thing to make up that you had a really long first two segments. That little short thing at the end. Those have actually worked out rather well, so don't mind them. Though it does mean usually that they've run the beginning two segments a little too long. They've overplayed the joke. Though this one wasn't the case with the. I think either of them really played the joke too long. I think everything went right.
I think it worked out really well, like timing wise, and I think the pacing on both of those were really good.
Yeah, this wasn't. Yeah, and it wasn't overtly political. It had somebody political, but it doesn't really do any sort of judgments on anything.
And I think the thing with this one is because of the nature of the first story, the way it was, the fact that it was giving you kind of a backstory of the reboot in a way, like, okay, this is why we don't have anybody, and building up to that, like that climax at the end of it building into it and working into it, it almost had a Looney Tunes style feel, like Bugs and Elmer Fudd type thing. It's like, I'm gonna get those whatever they are. And so I think because it's a classic, more of a classic template, it was a little harder for them to fuck it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's it's all been done, and these are done and dusted, just already sort of. This is classic sort of Looney Tunes fare, so it's yeah they know exactly what to do with it, but yeah they didn't stray too much into politics this time, so that was good. The pacing was good. Good explanations for why we haven't seen a lot of classic characters. Um, yeah, this was a solid episode. It wasn't the best episode of all time, but it wasn't. It was very stable, solid, normal quality episode from start to finish.
Yep. Oh! I just remembered one more thing. If you look to your left, this is where they filmed Batman versus Superman. Oh,
Aww. Ooh versus aw.
Yeah, that's this is where they filmed Batman. Ooh, versus Superman. Oh, because I
It's,
think
it's,
that's the general census of like everybody that's seen that movie.
and the it's brilliant because it's also it's taking a shot at themselves in a way because I mean
They are
Warner
Warner Brothers.
they're Warner Brothers and all the DC stuff that's Warner Brothers too. So
Yeah,
they're definitely taking shots at themselves. It's like
and this is
yes
where
yes
they
we know we messed up Batman v Superman
and this is
tremendously.
where they filmed the opening to Friends.
Which well doesn't matter. I guess it was, but anything else? I think we've rambled pretty good,
Thinking.
pretty well.
No.
know what?
Oh, if I had anything else.
Oh, sorry, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Although remind me in the chat to draw that Pinky Doctor and Master Brain because that has to be done. And yes, I think you're right. I'm probably going to draw Pinky as the second Doctor just because he's my favorite. And so the Brain Master honestly would feel like more of a Sims Master or a Missy, but I think he would probably have to be a Delgado Master or an Ainley Master. And really, the only real difference with that is the facial hair color because Ainley's Master had a full dark beard and Delgado had white stripe, little white stripes in his beard. But beyond, Delgado was a little older. He had the gray streaks. Beyond that, as far as attire and stuff, they were pretty similar. So really, I think Ainley's Master is a little more distinguishable because of the little ruffle on the neck.
Mm.
But yeah.
All right.